You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
The following podcast is scheduled for one fall. Coming in at 195 pounds from Studio A, he is the reigning, defending, undisputed host of the Ring of Thunder, Sexy Thor! Welcome back, Thunderverse. Are you ready for some blood and guts? Well, too bad, because A, this is an audio medium, and B, we got to talk about Raw first. I don't know, I'm just dumb. So start out with AJ Styles and Omos defeating the New Day to retain the Raw Tag Team Championship. Charlotte Flair defeated Dana Brooke. Then Sonya Deville just up and added Charlotte to the Raw Women's Championship match at Backlash, much to the protests of Rhea Ripley and Asuka. Damian Priest put all the rotten tomatoes aside and just straight up beat John Morrison in a regular old singles match, and it's just nice seeing Priest getting back on track. And if you've got Peacock, I highly recommend his episode of WWE Chronicle that just came out on Mother's Day. So definitely watch that if you get a chance. Then the Lucha House Party defeated Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. Then Cedric broke up their team in the brattiest way possible. So that is quite sad. Unfortunately, it seems like they're going to go back to the positions on the card that they were in pre-Hurt Business. Then Angel Garza defeated Drew Gulak in a match I'm surprised wasn't on main event, but I'm glad they actually put on Raw, and then he put a rose up Drew Gulak's bum. So that's a thing that happened. Kiss from a rose indeed. RK Bro defeated Elias and Jackson Reichert to now go 2-0, and on tonight's Raw, RK Bro is going to be teaming up with the New Day, to which, after everything I've seen and know about the rivalries of Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton, I'm just like, that could be interesting. And especially if Randy's a good guy. Like, if Randy doesn't betray Kofi, that would be even more interesting. Humberto Carrillo was set to go one-on-one with Sheamus again, but he was viciously attacked by the Irishman, so instead he went head-to-head with Raw's newest signee, the 49-0 undefeated Mansoor, until, of course, Carrillo came out and attacked Sheamus during the match, making Sheamus win by disqualification and technically killing Mansoor's undefeated streak. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? At least Asuka had the honor and dignity of, losing her winning streak at WrestleMania in a championship match. It was like fucking disqualification. Again, like I said, are you fucking kidding me? Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeated Naomi and Lana in like 2 minutes to retain the women's tag team titles. Round and round and round and round we go. In the main event, Bobby Lashley defeated Braun Strowman after Braun got distracted jawing at Drew McIntyre, and Drew was throwing it right back, and Bobby hit Braun with a spear and got the 1-2-3, then Drew hit both of them with claymores. By the way, Drew's autobiography, A Chosen Destiny, My Story, is now available wherever you can find books. Definitely something I need to pick up. I've read 2 wrestler biographies so far, and I've loved them both. On NXT, Isaiah Swerve Scott defeated Leon Ruff in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and then debuted his new entourage in AJ Francis, who you can see on WWE's Most Wanted Treasures on A&E, Brianna Brandy, and Ashanti the Adonis. Karrion Kross was met by all his future contenders, starting with Kyle O'Reilly, and then Pete Dunne, then the one who Kross beat for the title, the returning Prince Finn Balor. It broke into a brawl with Kross standing tall until he was attacked from behind by Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. Speaking of the way, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell defeated Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon to become new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Y'all know how much I've been wanting this to happen, and now here we are. Candice finally has gold in NXT, and what a 30 days Indy's been having. She competed in her first takeover last month and now has her first taste of gold. Much deserved. On AEW, they announced the return of live touring. Finally. Oh my God, I've been waiting so long. So it starts July 7th in Miami, Florida, July 14th in Cedar Park, Texas, part of Greater Austin, July 21st, in Garland, Texas, which is part of Dallas/Fort Worth Metroplex. And I'm just waiting on the day where they announce their return to State Farm Arena, and I can right that wrong. Such a big wrong I had back in February of 2020 and not going to that awesome show their first time in Atlanta. And I've heard WWE's been keeping an eye on, when AEW might resume their live touring, and WWE being WWE, it's widely believed that they're going to find out when AEW starts touring, and then WWE's going to try to jump them by a month or so. I mean, it couldn't really be any later or sooner than a month because we're already in May. So yeah. Oh my God, live touring. Urgh. Very, 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 very excited. I could just go on and on about how excited I am, but instead I'll tell you that Cody Rhodes defeated QT Marshall by definitely locking in that figure 4 and not letting go. Then Cody got that devastating punch in the gut from Anthony Ogogo, who then covered Cody in a big old Union Jack. This week on Dynamite, Cody will make an announcement having to do with Double or Nothing. Blood and Guts, aka Not War Games, wink, because they don't have William Regal to say, War Games! Happened between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle, with the Pinnacle getting the victory in the most cowardly way possible. MJF threatening to throw Chris Jericho off the cage and making the other Inner Circle guys surrender. He threw him through the ramp anyway and yelled, "Thank you!" A callback to the beginning of Dynamite's lifespan, not this episode, October 2019, when Chris Jericho was going around and wanting to hear thank you from everyone because he was taking credit for Dynamite even existing. And Jon Moxley's got a hell of a week. He's in singles action on AEW Dark Elevation. He and Eddie Kingston are in tag team action on AEW Dark. Then Mox defends his IWGP United States Championship against Yuji Nagata on Dynamite. So if you're a big Jon Moxley fan, and I know I am, this could be a fun week for you. Now I just need to actually go out of my way to start watching Dark and Elevation again. And finally, the match has been set. Hikaru Shida will defend the AEW Women's Championship against Britt Baker at Double or Nothing. Let's go! Yeah. We knew it was coming. And now it is here. On Impact, there were some go-home show matches. Well, it felt like this was a go-home show, honestly, and then I remembered, oh, wait, there's still another week to go, so we'll see what's what with there. But set for Under Siege this Saturday. Yes, it is this Saturday. Brian Myers versus Black Taurus, which seems totally random to me to have Brian Myers feuding with Decay. But I'm also very interested in watching this. W. Morrissey versus Willie Mack. Just going to say, poor Willie Mack, but, I mean, he's still a great athlete and he's still getting paid. So, I mean, hey, what more can you ask? The full slate of the six-way number one contenders match will be Chris Sabin versus Chris Bay versus Sami Callihan versus Matt Cardona versus Trey Miguel versus Moose. And there was a little bit of possible teasing there of beer guns breaking up after Moose defeated James Storm to qualify, and then took a little while for Chris Sabin to get out there from the back to rescue his tag team partner after he was attacked. So huh. But then again, there was a segment in Swingers Palace where they were just like, yeah, I don't need you out there with me. Yeah, I don't need you out there with me either. So they weren't. Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering will defend the Knockouts tag team titles against Fire and Flava. I know I said that's pretty much what was happening last episode, but now it is official. Deonna Purrazzo tried to fake book a number one contenders match for the Knockouts title between Rosemary and Havoc for Under Siege, just to get those two away from her, but Scott D'Amore watches the episode and thought that would be a great idea and trolled Deonna in the only way Scott D'Amore can, by going, "Oh yeah, you were right. You know, you should really, work for the booking department. God, that is such a great idea, Deonna. You are really a fighting champion." It's like, oh, Scott. Sorry, I was trying to go for the Michael Douglas Hank Pym for every time he says Scott Lang's name in Ant-Man, where he just goes, Scott. But I don't know. It didn't sound very Michael Douglas to me. But anyway, commercial time.
Time to grab your pillow and join the Geek Father and Little Bit for discussions on current, nostalgic, and speculative happenings in pop culture. Nerd news, fandom histories, deep dive discussions, reviews, and more. It's like listening to your closest friends have a nerdy conversation. So sit back, relax, and let the Blurred Nerds podcast embrace you with their warm, goofy goodness. It's Nerd Goals for your ear holes, right here on the ESO Network.
My name is Mark McCrae, I'm the author of The Best Saturdays of Our Lives.
I'm Dan Klink, co-host of the Best Saturdays of Our Lives podcast.
The Best Saturdays of Our Lives features programming trends from the 1966 television season all the way through the last hurrah of the early digital age of the 1990s.
On the show, if it's animated, we talk about it.
Order your signed copy today at tbsool.com
and listen to the podcast at esonetwork.com and all podcast platforms.
Hello. Have you ever wondered how much Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster sold Superman's rights to DC for? Or which popular football star was the Sam Wilson the Falcons' physical appearance based on? You can find all that and more at the History of Comic Books podcast, a podcast dedicated to the creators, events, history, and the companies that made the great comic book medium. Hosted and created by your friendly neighborhood JT Wheatley. Please give it a listen at iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, and all our podcasting platforms. Thank you, and go ahead and enjoy yourself a good comic book.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
It's Amanda Bones.
And I'm Ashley.
Of How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling, the podcast on the Count Out Wrestling Podcast Network, a weekly show where we talk about all of our favorite things, babes, blood, and brutality.
We also talk about other fun things, like is Kenny Omega finally too tan? And how much blood is too much blood? Because that looks like way too much blood.
So join us on the adventure of teaching me, Amanda Bones, about wrestling.
Look, we gotta talk.
Yeah, Thunder Talk.
We're going all kinds of sideways with that sweet nerd junk.
Woke nerd junk.
It's topical,
Political.
Dare I say radical.
We've got all your latest news and reviews.
Hot music.
And a whole lot of comedy.
but it ain't for kids.
Definitely mature content.
So let's talk.
Let's talk Thunder Talk.
Thunder Talk is a proud member of the ESO Network. So before we get into Throwback SmackDown, I gotta say something, because last week, of course, Roman Reigns debuted his new theme, and I was just like, maybe I'm feeling it. I'm not sure if I'm feeling it. I don't know if I'm feeling it. And then, WWE Music YouTube channel released his theme song, and so I listened to it start to finish. Available to hear, no other crowds or commentators or any of that other noise, just straight up listening to the theme song, and oh my god, that theme song fucking rocks. Oh my god, I love it. In fact, I've listened to it several times. I can't wait till they put it on Spotify. I don't know why they haven't put it on Spotify yet. Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, I love this theme. And it's like, the Shield theme will be very, very special to me, but this is a damn good theme. And yeah, I would definitely not mind, hopefully in the future, when SmackDown comes to Greenville, Atlanta, Charlotte, whatever, and I'm in there in the arena, and I hear that big old chorus that starts out his theme song. I think I can definitely pop for that as loud as I did for when I heard dun 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 dun. So yeah, Roman's theme very much loved here on Ring of Thunder. Holy shit. But also, that just further proves the case that I have against like how much I hate the sort of audio mixing and stuff. I guess that might be the correct term. Just generally speaking, how the audio is on SmackDown. Because they always have like, it seems like the Thunderdome crowd is even louder. And I mean, I can barely fucking hear, when people are talking in backstage segments or when it's just, commentary trying to talk to me. I can hear like there's parts of people's promos I can't understand. And it's like between the fact that it seems like the Thunderdome crowd is even louder than they are on Monday Night Raw. It's just the audio on Fox for some weird fucking reason, despite the fact that it takes place in the same building, and I'm pretty sure they use the same equipment in the Thunderdome. It sounds different. I mean, does anybody else actually notice that? I guess you would have to notice that if you actually watch Raw and SmackDown consistently and enough. But, and I mean, how many of you of there is actually still does that besides me? And I think that's a fair question to ask. So yeah, let me know. Are you hearing the same audio differences between Raw and SmackDown when you're watching, or is it just me? And I watch straight up off a cable box too. I don't watch it on a streaming thing like on Peacock or Hulu or anything like that. I watch it straight up on cable TV. I turn it to the USA Network. I turn it to Fox. And then, yeah, that's just how I hear it. So let me know what you hear. You know my socials. You know my email. Let me know, please. But going on to what actually happened on SmackDown, instead of talking about theme music and audio shenanigans. Roman, Paul Heyman, and Jey Uso held a 10-bell salute for the end of Daniel Bryan's SmackDown career, with Paul going ding. They brought out Bryan's replacement, Jimmy Uso, finally. Oh, but Paul Heyman did this. Ding, 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 ding. And then, yeah, Jimmy Uso came out. Finally. Haven't seen hide or hair of him since, well, Roman choked him out in that Hell in a Cell I Quit match, but him looking good and healthy, haven't seen that since WrestleMania 36. Which feels like 30 years ago. And then Cesaro came out and he was like, WTF, you can't replace Daniel Bryan. And then Seth Rollins attacked Cesaro, or Zazaro as he called him, from behind Teddy Long. Oh my God. Wow, I really read those notes wrong. So Seth Rollins attacked Cesaro from behind, and then Teddy Long came out as a special guest general manager. Holla holla. And with the powers invested in him by Adam Pearce and or Sonya Deville, he came out and added the stipulation to Cesaro versus Seth that if Cesaro wins, he will face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania Backlash. Cesaro defeated Seth Rollins after Jey Uso tried to help Seth, but Seth pushed him away and was like, I'm not Roman, I don't need your help, which rubbed Jimmy the wrong way, and Jimmy superkicked Seth behind the ref's back. and Cesaro hit the neutralizer and got the 1-2-3. Roman was not happy with his cousin for that, but Jimmy isn't happy being talked to by Roman like that, especially the way Roman's been treating Jay. The Riot Squad returned, and Carmella tapped out Ruby Riott, so sad face from me again. This week, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler will face Natalya and Tamina for the Women's Tag Team Championship, and please let Natalya and Tamina get those belts, please. But there'll probably be some shenanigans, and then they'll do it again at Backlash. Just watch. And this wouldn't be a Teddy Long show without a tag team match. And there was a 10-man tag team match, one in which Apollo Crews, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, Otis, and Chad Gable defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, Big E, Kevin Owens, and the Street Profits. It was Kevin Owens' birthday, and it seemed like he and Big E actually got along well. Dominic Mysterio defeated Dolph Ziggler in singles competition ahead of Dominic and Rey facing the Dirty Dogs for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship at Backlash. And in the ring for the final segment, Roman wanted Jimmy to acknowledge him. Jimmy just wanted his brother to snap out of it, but Jay wanted Jimmy to acknowledge Roman. Jimmy had enough and started to leave when Jay started chasing after him to get him to reconsider. That left Roman alone and vulnerable to an attack from Cesaro. The Usos hesitated for a second, but then Jay went to help his cousin, and Jimmy watched for a second, then ran in to help his brother. Cesaro whooped both of their asses, then hit Roman with a neutralizer and stood hella tall. So yeah, that was pretty much this week's wrestling. Not a whole lot. It's it'll be a standard size show, but we'll have the regular shows this coming week, plus Under Siege and Backlash, so get ready for all that fun. And that's the 1, 2, 3. Thanks for locking up with me at the Ring of Thunder. Kick butts, not nuts.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping for the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.